Hello, my friends. Today's date is April the 5th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a four-card pull to cover the year to follow, and it's approximately 10 minutes, so hang in there with me. First card is a general energy card for the year, something that might be sustained or might chop it open. And then there's a particular challenge you might face, and then an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. The general energy card of the year is the fault line. And the fault line asks you to reflect upon fault lines of the earth, in particular, slowly building up pressure in order to get by each other or to slide away from each other, usually with a jolt. Not always, but usually with an opening that has been, it's been coming. It's been coming for a long time, and it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault, but you can make it, somebody's fault, or they can make it somebody's fault if they need to. But this is something that has been being needed to be for a long time. It's been building up. It's been building up. It's been, feeling pressure and feeling heat and feeling earth shaking and at some point it's going to give somewhat, and it's going to open somewhat, and it's going to, make people either surrender and allow and forgive and learn lessons, or it's going to make people angry and resentful and blameful. Uh, but, if it's something that's been coming for a long time and you could have foreseen it, and you probably did, and you've probably been feeling it, then why just not let it go? Why hold it as a fault in a fault line? Why blame? But that's up to you, and that's what you got to look at. Are you blaming, or they blame, or someone blaming you, or are you blaming someone else for something that is inevitable? And so this is the particular challenge that you have, and it is the Empress, or the Mother, or the Great Mother. The Great Mother births and protects and feeds and nurtures her children, and then they come of age to be able to take care of themselves, and the Great Mother is either going to pop them out the door and say you're free, or she's going to try to hold them back and still try to guide and direct and hold and mold them. um, but is it but that's everybody needs to find themselves. Every child needs to find what their truth is and find what their journey is and allow themselves to become who they're supposed to be. And the mother can't always direct that and protect that and safeguard that and make sure that the child thinks in the same way that the mother does. So the mother has to let go, the child has to let go, there has to be a separation. There's a fault line that builds usually with most mothers and daughters, or parents and children, or whatever businesses. I mean, this can be about a business, it can be about something in your own body, the sense of time, and bodies getting old and bodies breaking down and bodies changing. It can be the sense of emotion. Something has been cracking apart for a long time and it's needed to be let go of. It can be the sense of some idea that one has had, that one has nurtured, but it no longer fits any longer. So there's all these fault lines, but this comes in this form of mother, and questions about mothering, and questions about when to let go, and questions about when to hold on. And is it if somebody needs, or something needs to break apart or break away, whatever that thing or person is, whoever that person is, it can be a man, it can be a business, it can be an organization, whatever. Is there blame that comes out? Is there finger pointing that comes out? Or is there a necessary recognition that, well, it's time to part, and it's time to let go, and it's time to allow the other side to do what they need to do, and me to do what I need to do, and move away from the blame and the fault. But that's fault finding. But that's the journey, and that's the journey for so much of us and all of us as humanity to try, in the four agreements. What is the, no, I don't know which number, but it's don't take anything personally. The more we can learn to not take things personally, um, the better we're going to be in ourselves and in our souls and in our path to enlightenment. So your action to take is mouse energy, scrutiny energy, and you can't look outward with scrutiny energy. In this case, you have to look inward at your own actions, at your own decisions, at your own restrictions, at your own structures, at your own things that, what made you mad about something or someone else. Turn them inward and look and say, are you doing the same things? Or are you doing something in response to somebody who does those things? Is this a parental issue that's been passed down? Is this a familiar issue that's been handed down from clan to clan? Is this an American issue that's been handed down from countryman to countryman? Is this a world issue and a humanity issue that's been handed down to each person to say, how much are you holding on? How much are you blaming? How much are you able to let go? How much are you able to forgive? How much are you able to look at yourself and see where you have held on to the detriment of things? And how can you now release yourself from pain and agony and judgments? And you can only often do that through, I think, a sense of, final card synopsis, through a sense of forgiveness, through a sense of grace, through a sense of connection and truth, through a sense of Khalil Gibran's poem "The Trees" comes to mind. It's like we have to dance as trees dance. There's room between trees quite often for them to sway and to swing and to be themselves in their own time, in their space, and um, and yet they can be, touching and loving and caressing each other, but there needs to be room for each tree to be its full self, or it crowds the other and it may take the nutrients from the other. So this is the same with people. They're mothers and children, and fathers and children, and organizations and people. If the organization is one thought pattern, but the people come to a different thought pattern, there has to be room for amicable separation without fault and without blame. That's going to be the best for us. But of course, we have work to do. We always have work to do in this realm, and so we do the best we can, and we look to heal ourselves and our personal selves the best we can, because we can't change somebody else. We can only change ourselves. We can only work on ourselves. So this is a year of working on yourself and looking at yourself with great truth and great honesty, and saying, all right, am I blaming, and what can I do with this blame? How can I get rid of this blame for something that has been foreseeable, something that is just in the appropriate line, in the appropriate path, in order for me to learn some lesson, and someone else to learn their lesson. And so, what lesson do I get out of when things fall apart? Who do I blame, and how do I release myself from the blame game, which really strains me and drains me and makes me sick on a lot of levels? So blessed be to your journey. May it be open and healing and full of wisdom and full of truth and full of grace and full of compassion for yourself and others.